Hi angels, welcome to Earth Angel Energy. I'm the Earth Angel and today I'm bringing you another pick a card reading, and today's topic is how do people view your style? How do people view your fashion? And I have 3 piles for you. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So go ahead and take a second, see which pile resonates with you, and we can go ahead and get started. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose the first pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your style, your fashion, the way that you dress. Okay, first and foremost, in 2 of the piles we got the 9 of Swords, so I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to mean, but we'll go ahead and figure it out. How do people view your style? Ultimately, I think people really like it with the 2 of Cups. There's something very effortless about the way that you dress. There's also something very... with the 9 of Pentacles, you look very well put together. People could assume that your clothes maybe are like higher quality, made of nicer materials, maybe a little bit more expensive. Something, once again, very well put together. Now, with the Sun in reverse and the 9 of Swords, there could be a little bit of like an intimidation factor for some reason. Because with the Fool, there's an effortlessness to the way that you dress. So even if you're dressed more casually or dressed, say for like going on a walk, going to the gym, just running groceries or something like that, you still look nice. Like there's nothing really like too casual. Like you always look well put together, even if you're dressed very casually. You could be wearing sweats, a hoodie, leggings, but you still have this nice, like high quality, elevated look to the way that you dress. And there could be a little bit of this feeling of people kind of wanting to like step up their game a little bit based on the way that you dress. Like feeling a little bit insecure about the way that they're dressed based on how you dress. Let's see. Ooh, the Magician. People really admire the way that you're dressed. Don't be surprised too if people kind of like incorporate some of the things they see you wearing. It almost gives me a bit of like an aspirational energy. 6 of oh yeah, you could definitely be a bit of a trendsetter as well too, or you could like adopt trends or start wearing things before they become popular. Like you have a really good eye for that. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles with the 4 of Wands. There's something here about with the 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands. So that's about like holding back or keeping things to yourself. And then the 4 of Wands is about family, home, community here. You could either hold back a little bit in terms of like showing, all that you have to offer. But I'm seeing that in multiple ways. So for some of you, you could cover up a little bit more with your clothing, or maybe you show like one part of yourself, but you'll kind of cover up other things. For others of you, there's kind of this feeling of, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'll tell you a story recently. So I was traveling to meet some family members a couple weeks ago, and we were in a very, very affluent area where like a lot of, wealthy people live. And a lot of the young people, so like the kids and grandkids of people who were there, dressed like extremely casually. Definitely weren't like super dripped out in designer. It was a lot of like sweats, like oversized hoodies, like just very comfortable clothing. Now, this is kind of reminding me of that energy here where people could, for whatever reason, could kind of assume that you like dress casually. I hope this makes sense. Like, you just know people who could dress like really, really, really nice, but they dress casually, or like they might be wearing casual clothes, but maybe they're made out of really nice materials, or they're like secretly very expensive. There's something here about this, and this could not be the case, but I think there's something about the way that you carry yourself, the 9 of Pentacles with the Fool. Like you seem very confident, very comfortable. I think you also do just pick out nice items as well. 4 of Swords. You do dress like comfortably, but once again, King of Pentacles. Like that just keeps like coming to mind. Like, and the people I was hanging out with, like, we were kind of joking about it because this is a very affluent area. But, like, once again, like, everyone was dressed, like, so casually. That's kind of the vibe you're giving me. Especially if you do, like, dress down sometimes. Now, if you dress up, I feel like there's very much just, like, oh, yeah, they look good. Like, like they look very nice and well put together. But for some of you, you can dress a little bit more casually. But, like, it still gives off, like, an elevated appearance. 10 of Cups, yeah. 8 of Cups and the Page of Cups. Kind of like somebody who doesn't want to come off like, you know, look at all that I have, or look at me. Does that make sense? I'm trying to articulate it for you because it's a really interesting assumption that people seem to be making about you. And so whether you are, you know, more well off, whether you're just like a normal person, there's kind of this assumption that you dress casually because you like it or because you don't want to show off or something like that. But once again, I think a lot of it has to do, once again, with the way that you carry yourself. I feel like you have good manners. There's a grace about you. And I highly recommend this too. I'm going to put this in the description. But for some of you, you do pick items, you know, of higher quality, you know, maybe made of like nicer natural materials, which I highly recommend. This is a cotton hoodie that I'm wearing because it's super comfortable to do these readings for you. I'll go ahead and put her channel in the description because she's on YouTube and she educates so much about how you can spend your money wisely. And if you're looking for clothes, to buy nice materials and nicely made clothes, and to not spend money on clothes that are maybe not going to last or are not the best quality here. But this is great, actually. It's an interesting energy, but I've seen it in real life. Yeah, the 4 of Cups with the King of Pentacles. I'm curious about that 4 of Cups here. What is the 4 of Cups for how people view your style or the way that you dress? How do people view your style, the way that you dress? 4 of Cups. I don't know. I hope this makes sense for you. I hope, like, you get it. Like, it's giving me, this is also I don't know why this is coming through, but we have, like, all this. You look good, first and foremost, with that Queen of Wands on top. But this is an energy that's coming through. I've seen it in real life, so I'm not, like, shocked by it. But this is what I have for you, Pile 1, especially if you do dress a little bit more casually, or you don't, like, you know, wear, like, a bunch of, like, really big logos or anything like that. We have, once again, the 7 of Pentacles and the Judgment with the 4 of Cups. There's something here about people assuming some things about your background. But once again, like, this is reminding me of a comment I saw a while back where someone said, like, you know, you can go on the social media of somebody who has, like, a really successful family or who, like, makes a good amount of money, and, like, they'll just be dressed, like, super casually. Like, you, for some reason, like, you give that vibe to people. Or, like, you could have nice things, but it's a little bit more discreet. Oh my gosh, 10 of Swords. So this is why this is coming through. Because, like, what a wild energy. But it's coming through really strongly. Yeah, the Magician. Oh my gosh. So, I'm getting 2 things. Number 1, if you dress, like, very, very casually, I feel like some people honestly kind of don't like it. But it's coming from, like, a weird space here. Because there's kind of this assumption, this is only for people where you dress, like, very casually, like, all the time. There's kind of this feeling of, like, they could, like, dress so nice, like, but they just would rather wear, like, a hoodie and leggings or, like, track pants. It's really interesting. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Look, what is this? Who are you? I mean, honestly, like I said, I've seen this in real life all the time. I don't know why, but there's some people who are assuming that you are, like, well off. But once again, like, it's like, I've just seen this so many times in real life that it makes sense to me. Like, I get it. I think the big thing is, even if you dress casually, like, you still look nice. Like, it's, like, nice casual. Or it's, like, high quality things. Maybe you pick, like, good, like, thicker fabrics, or things that drape nicely, or things made out of, like, natural materials. I mean, I'll say this. I went thrifting recently and found a bunch of like silk and cashmere. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to like wear nice things. 10 of Cups. People are assuming that you like come from a good, stable home or background because of this. But once again, this is the energy that I've picked up from the comments that I mentioned to you earlier about that whole like people who come from good backgrounds but dress, you know, I'm going to be very plain. Like, I think we've all heard of that, you know, like rich kids who dress poor kind of thing. If you can read cards, I mean, there it is. And sometimes that energy can even come with a little bit of like animosity. And maybe you do come from like a nice background and you just choose to dress casually. But there's a little bit of that feeling of like, maybe it's the way that you speak, maybe it's the way that you carry yourself. For whatever reason, people are assuming that you come from a good background and that you like dress casually like for fun, or like, I hope I'm articulating this well. Like, I hope I'm explaining it okay, because it's a complex energy. It's kind of a strange energy, but it's not an unusual energy, because I've seen a lot of people talk about it where there are some people who almost kind of feel like you're cosplaying as like a casual, or like if you dress like very plain or very like, you know, Queen of Pentacles. There's something here. I'll be honest, people assume that you've got money, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it makes sense to you. I see it here in the cards. I mean, we all dress differently here in Pile 1. But yeah, 6 of Wands. Like, you are successful, you've got it, you're comfortable. And once again, don't take this as like a bad thing at all. I feel like you have done either very well for yourself, or you carry yourself in such a way that people are associating you with someone who's doing well, who is taking good care of themselves, who has everything that they need. You know, this really is a compliment. But if I can also give you another example, you know, I personally love to keep up on like the state of fashion, and ethical fashion, ethical consumption. You know, I love when people talk about how to be sustainable with fashion, you know, not to buy a whole lot of fast fashion if you can avoid it. But recently I was watching a video where someone was talking about how a lot of people who resell clothing online, you know, will go to thrift stores and like buy all the nice stuff and resell it at a markup online. That could kind of be the vibe that people get, especially if people have seen you like thrifting, or if you're wearing things like secondhand or wearing things really casual. People assume that you don't have to, or people are assuming that you dress casually to kind of not fit the stereotype of someone who has money. That's what I have for you. I really hope this makes sense. I hope this checks out for you. I see this in real life all the time. I'm going to be really honest. I know plenty of people who have a good amount of money and dress very casually. Or, you know, I'll go to an affluent area and everybody's dressed like really just not, you know, just very casual, very loose, very vintagey. I see it all the time. So I don't know who you are, Pawan. Once again, you look good, but there is this assumption coming through really, really, really heavily for you. And once again, it's not a bad thing at all, especially if this resonates for you and this is like your actual reality, where, you know, you do own nice things or you find nice things secondhand and stuff like that. People recognize it, but just be aware that I think some people feel emotional or feel a certain way about that right now, but it makes sense to me. You know, these are kind of hard financial times for a lot of people, and for whatever reason, the way that you carry yourself, I hear for some of you, your jewelry, something like that, people can just tell that you're doing pretty well or that you come from a good background, something like that. That's just what they're assuming based on how you look. So if that's not the case, you know, if you don't want to be seen that way, there's definitely things that you could do if you care to change your style. I don't really think that you need to, but I'm just giving you the honest energy that's coming through. and this is not an unusual energy. It's not even necessarily a bad energy. I feel like for most people, they have a really positive reaction to your style. But yeah, I think there's some people who maybe feel sensitive about the idea of people with money dressing casually or buying secondhand, or, you know, trying to hide the fact that they have money by dressing casually, something like that. There are people who feel sensitive about that. And for some reason, that's what they're assuming about you based on your style. But I think it's because you look good. You pick good textiles, even if you're not consciously doing that. So that's what I have for you. Kind of a roundabout energy, but I hope this resonated and maybe explained some things for you. Maybe this is the vibe you're going for, or maybe this has just naturally been kind of what you've fallen into with the way that you dress. And hopefully this resonates and checks out for you. But that's what I have for you. A little bit unexpected energy, but it came through really strongly, so I had to tell you what I saw. That's what I have for you, pile one. Ultimately, all good, but just be aware that there are some people who are feeling a little bit insecure, I guess, based on the way that you dress. That's what I have for you. I hope I explained that okay. But I do hope that resonated. I hope that was helpful for you. And you can feel free to check out one of the other piles if you're curious. You can watch one of my other videos. You can check out my Patreon for exclusive videos and conversations. And you can always book a personal reading with me if you would like me to read the energy in your situation. Thank you so much, pile one. I really like your style, and it makes sense to me. I can definitely empathize. But thank you so much, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, pile 2. So if you just a second pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your style, your fashion, the way that you dress. Okay, so immediately I'm seeing a unique dresser here with the Hermit. I feel like you don't dress like everybody else. There's something that kind of stands out about the way that you dress. You dress kind of for yourself. I don't think you really follow trends too much. You kind of just like what you like and you wear that. With the Eight of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Fool, some of you could have a little bit more of like a professional look about you, even if you're dressed a little bit more casual. Everything kind of fits together really nicely. There's something effortless about the way that you dress as well too. Some of you could either dress a little more conservatively with the Four of Pentacles, or you could wear things that are a little more form-fitting, especially if you have a nice body, you take good care of your body, you show it off well, or you dress really well for your body here. With the Four of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, I think you do a really good job if you like to find good deals, find things on sale. I mentioned this in pile 1 as well too, but in the description, I'm going to add a wonderful channel that I follow. It's this lady who talks all about how to find like good, high quality clothing, you know, and not waste your money on like poor quality fast fashion, you know, just really buying things that last, and investing in good things, you know, without breaking your budget. But I feel like you're honestly pretty good at that too. I think you've built a really nice wardrobe for yourself with the Eight of Pentacles. Especially if you like have to wear clothes like for work. Well, of course you have to wear clothes for work, but what you wear to work as well, I think people actually really like. You have a nice professional style if that applies to you. Now with the Nine of Swords, and this came up in pile 1 as well too, where for whatever reason people get kind of like they feel a type of way about the way that you dress, or you elicit some sort of like stressful or anxious emotion in them. Now pile 1 was like a roller coaster, and by the end it totally made sense why that Nine of Swords was here, so we'll figure out why that is for you too. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, and once again we're seeing quite a few pentacles here. So definitely people do assume based on the way that you dress that you either have a good career, you like work for yourself, you do give off someone who takes care of themselves and support themselves. Six of Pentacles with the Death card. People could assume that you spend more on your clothes than you do. And like, I'll just tell you guys, like, I love a good sale. Like, I love a good discount. I love, you know, only picking pieces that I really, really want. Most successful people I know that have been good with their money and still dress well, you know, are very cognizant of that. You know, not just spending a bunch of money on clothes, but really finding good things that you like that are going to last you, and being discerning with that. I think it's a really good idea. Seven of Cups here. You could, something either about your accessories or the different clothes that you wear. People could assume you could have like a big wardrobe based on the way that you dress. Or like there's a lot of nice different components to the things that you dress. You could accessorize really well. Once again, Seven of Cups is also like fantasies. You dress very uniquely. Like there's something here where almost there's like a little bit of a fantasy element sometimes with the things that you wear. Like you could wear really pretty jewelry, or like sometimes have like fur or leather or something. Something that's a little bit, that stands out a little bit. Something that you don't always see every day. Let's see what else. Oh my gosh, look at all this. Pile 2. If this resonates for you and you dress more casually, I would definitely check out pile 1 because I'm getting a lot of similar energies here. Okay. So once again, the pentacles are raining down in this reading. Okay, so King of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. So you dress well. You look really good. You could either pick high quality stuff, or you just look really well put together. You have a really good eye for your style. With the Four of Cups and the Six of Wands, it's reminding me of like Power One. I do feel a little bit of insecurity kind of brewing in some people when they look at the way that you dress or your style here. Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. People do think you look really attractive in the way that you dress. But it's so funny. I feel like people initially are like, ooh, they look good. But with the Knight of Pentacles, they don't feel like you're super approachable. It's like you do a good job of kind of like showing, like making yourself look good, making yourself look enticing, but not like too available, if you know what I mean. Wheel of Fortune. You look fortunate. You look like you're doing good. Like you look comfortable, stable. Now look at this. Okay, the Seven of Swords in the Tower with the Emperor. Okay, the more we get into this, the more the energy is resembling a lot of Pile 1, so I highly recommend if this is resonating for you, definitely check out Pile 1 and see if there's anything that applies to you. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the collective. I feel like there has been kind of this general energy, and I know this applies to me too. I highly recommend it. You know, people are being a little bit more mindful about how we spend our money on clothing, you know, maybe waiting and really deciding, do I really want this? Do I really need this? Is this high quality? Is this made out of good fabrics? Does this fit me well? I feel like for you, Pile 2, you've really mastered your style, how to dress for yourself, you know, and really looking good, you know, just looking like you're wearing high quality items. Now, with the Seven of Swords, the Tower, the Emperor, and the Ace of Pentacles, this is reminding me of Pile 1, where people could assume that it's a little bit less than Pile 1, because Pile 1 gave me a more casual energy, where I'll just tell you. Pile 1 was someone who, like, people assumed that they had a good amount of money or they were doing really well for themselves, but they dressed casually, like, on purpose. I gave an example of, like, traveling recently to a really affluent, well-off, kind of rich area, and, like, all the young people were dressed, like, super casually, like, kind of like that, if you've seen people talk about how some rich kids will dress like they're poor. Like, we'll just put that out there very bluntly. It's a little bit less of that here with Pile 2, but people do assume that you still dress down a little bit for what you have. And I don't know what's going on with the collective. Either we're doing really well financially, or we're just carrying ourselves really well, or we're dressing really well, where, and I'll be honest, as you elevate, you know, as you raise your vibration, as you raise your confidence, the way that you carry yourself, I don't know what it is, but people are going to assume you have more money. If you speak well, if you stand up straight, you know, for whatever reason, if you just have that glow about you, if you seem peaceful for whatever reason, a lot of people seem to associate that with having money. Don't know why that is. Five of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. I don't know what it is about the collective, but there are some people who, that's where that Nine of Swords is coming through, because it came through for Piles 1 and Pile 2. For whatever reason, now maybe for some of you, you get it. You know, you look good, you dress good, so you understand why people would assume this. For others of you, this might be a surprise to you. But based on the way that you carry yourself, the way that you style yourself, people are assuming that you are doing quite well. And some people honestly are getting a little bit triggered by that. I got that in pile 1, but it's coming through in pile 2 as well, where it's like when you see somebody who's wearing like a really expensive handbag or something, and for some of you, you don't even do that, but people are just assuming that. I can't entirely tell you why. I feel like you'll probably know, especially if you dress really nicely, you carry yourself well, you speak well, maybe you have nice jewelry, something like that. There's definitely that assumption coming through. I do feel like people like your style, but honestly, in both piles 1 and 2, there's more of like an economic factor that seems to be coming in for people when they look at the way that you dress. And it's not a bad assumption, but I think for people who are feeling really insecure about themselves, it could be a little bit triggering. And that's where that 9 of Swords is. I feel like it comes through really clearly when we actually ask about why that is, but it makes sense, especially with the 7 of Cups. For some people, they could definitely be even assuming a lot more than what is the reality. But I think, once again, in the right places, in the right spaces, the way that you dress and carry yourself is going to be very beneficial. But I feel like if you're running across people who are in a more insecure energy, they could definitely be feeling very insecure based on how well you dress, and how well you seem to be doing based on the way that you dress. But ultimately, I feel like you come off as very well put together. There's a level of effortlessness to you. I feel like you're also really good in terms of managing your money around how you spend, and how you acquire clothing, really picking good high quality fabrics. And once again, in the description, I have a channel that you can look to if that's something you're interested in. I highly recommend that. I'm big on trying to be sustainable, and to buy high quality things and to not have to keep rebuying things and throwing things out. I think we've all experienced that, but I think we're starting to evolve out of that and trying to be a little bit more conscious about how we style ourselves, what clothes we buy, who we give our money to. But that's what I have for you, pile 2. So really kind of sort of similar energies in piles 1 and 2. So if this resonated with you, you can check out pile 1, especially if you dress more casually sometimes, because I feel like that was the more casual vibe around that energy. That's what I have for you, pile 2. Once again, kind of a roller coaster energy for this reading, but I gotta tell it how I see it. I gotta tell you what I see here in the cards. But that's what I have for you, pile 2. So I hope this resonated. I hope this was helpful. I don't think there's anything you need to change or do, and I don't think this is most people feeling this way, but it is coming through for people who are in more of an insecure energy. Just, for you to be aware. That's what I have for you, pile 2. So I do hope this resonated, and I hope this was helpful for you. You can feel free to check out one of the other videos that I have. You can watch one of the other piles if you're curious. You can check out my Patreon for exclusive videos and conversations. And of course, you can always book a personal reading with me if you'd like me to read the energy in your situation. But thank you so much, pile 2, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, pile 3. So if you chose the 3rd pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your style, your fashion, the way that you dress. You look good, pile 3. You look hot. We have the Empress, the 9 of Cups, the Devil, the Emperor. You know your body, you know your style, and you know how to make yourself look good. Full stop. I feel like people definitely notice your style. You stand out. I'm seeing a lot of admiration here. Now, this Emperor to the Empress could be it could be multiple things. So number 1, I see that people of the opposite gender especially love your style. And there's almost this feeling of like, based on the way that you dress yourself, it's like thinking that you would be like really nice on their arm, or like, I would want my man or my woman to dress like that. Like, that looks really good. Another thing I'm seeing is, for some of you, not for all, but for some of you, you could have a little bit more of like a gender fluid or like ambiguous style. Maybe if you're a feminine, you'll wear like baggier clothes, or even sometimes like men's clothes. For my men out there, maybe sometimes your like clothes are a little more fitted, or you could wear like lighter colors, but it looks really, really good. There's a level of confidence here if that resonates for you. And with the Emperor to the Empress, if you're in a relationship, in particular for anyone who has a partner, you and your partner dress really well, especially if you kind of coordinate sometimes, or like wear similar styles, similar colors. You look really, really good as a pair for anyone who's in a relationship here. Like, you just look great. I feel like you always know how to dress for an occasion. There's a level of you looking like both appropriate, but still really good. Like, yeah. Just like, yeah, let's get some more. Six of Swords on top of the deck. There is kind of this feeling from some people of like, I can't compete with that. Or like, the Temperance, once again, very balanced though. Now, I'll be honest, if some of you do show skin, like, it looks good. If you see this Temperance card, like, she's not so covered up. But even if you do cover yourself up too, there's something about you still really highlighting your figure. Like, you have that really good balance of like knowing exactly what's too much or like too little. Now, the Emperor and the Empress also wear the finer things in life. So you could dress in like nicer clothes, wear nicer fabrics. Maybe you have nice jewelry here. You just look like really, I just keep getting like a hot energy. Like, this is the pile that's probably the most like sexy, I'll be honest. And for some of you with the Queen, with the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands, along with that like sexy energy, some of you don't even really have to try very much. Either like maybe you have like a nice like curvy body, or if you're a man, you're kind of like fuller, you know, and you've got like a nice kind of like broad shape or something like that, where you don't even have to really show too much, but people do find you very like just as a very sexy pile, whether you dress conservatively or not. Like, you can't help it. That's just who you are. Let's get some more. How do people view your style? So we've gotten the Fool in all three piles. So there's like a level of effortlessness here, but you do have a kind of like manicured look to you. So you look well taken care of, you know, you look neat, tidy, like everything is kind of in its place here. This is more of my pile, yeah, and the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, yeah, you're very enticing. The way that you dress, you're very enticing. Now, with the Fool, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles, this is more of my pile of, you know, staying ready so you don't have to get ready. So it's kind of like, and this doesn't have to be your situation, but this is a good example. Say like you get your nails done, your hair done, you know, you take good care of your skin, like, you know, just so everything is already taken care of, so that you don't have to put in too much effort day to day, but you look like you still put in effort. You don't look like you're doing too much though. Like it all looks good. I think you've kind of, the way that you dress now, like, I think this is either your permanent style or like you figured it out. Also, I highly recommend for this pile, this is reminding me of like learning about like your body type and how to dress for your body type, like the Kibbe body types. That is a great way to find ways that are really, really flattering and make you look good if that's what you're interested in. Yeah, Eight of Swords, Page of Cups, oh, and the King of Swords. Okay, for some of you, you could dress in a way where people assume you're younger than you are, which is an interesting dichotomy. Hierophant, yeah, Nine of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. There's a lot of energy coming through for pile 3. People could also kind of feel like you might be a little bit more like expensive or high maintenance, whether you're a man or a woman here. What else do we have? Look at that Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, this is very specific, but if you feel like people assume you're like a lot younger than you are and you don't want that to be the case, just dress a little bit more maturely, because I do see that you look really, really good in terms of how you style yourself and everything. But for some of you, I mean, I know, me included, I'll be honest, maybe you have like a bit of a baby face, or there's something about you where people could assume you're a lot younger, and maybe you want to be taken a little more seriously, or maybe you want to be approachable to people your age. And if that's the case, I would recommend just kind of dressing a little bit more maturely. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. Yeah, and the Nine of Pentacles, literally. I feel like some of you could be struggling with feeling like, even though you like the way you dress and you look good, you're not entirely sure if maybe people are intimidated by you, or there's some sort of disconnect between how people feel about you, how people see you, and actually how either they treat you or being open to approaching you or something. I'll be honest, the energy is really strong. I feel like a lot of people might be very intimidated by you based on the way that you dress here. And like, maybe that's fine. I mean, I'll be honest. It personally doesn't bother me because, you know, you don't need to date everybody. You don't need to be everybody's friend. You don't need to work with everybody. So I think it's good to have a certain layer where only people who are really in alignment with you will feel comfortable approaching you. But if you want to get approached by a bunch of people, you could definitely kind of, if you're dealing with, say, people assuming that you're younger or a lot older than you are, maybe dressing more in alignment with like your actual age. And like, not saying that you don't. I feel like this is only for certain people. So like, I'll just tell you my personal experience. Like, I definitely have a baby face. I am well into adulthood, but plenty of people assume that I am a lot younger than I am. Especially if I dress, you know, the way that I used to dress when I was like a teenager. And, you know, I'll still age it up sometimes, but sometimes I just like wearing clothes that I've had forever, or sometimes it's a lot more comfortable, especially if I dress like more casually. So that might be like a thing for you, or maybe you dress really nicely, but you feel like people, you know, don't approach you, or if you go out, there's something here about, if that's the thing for you, if you maybe want to adjust how people perceive you or feel comfortable approaching you, there could be a little bit of an adjustment here if you wanted. Personally, I don't think it's necessary, but it is coming through here, where there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between how you're appearing, and either how you're being treated or how you feel, or maybe you're not being approached by the kind of people you want. But you can totally, you know, adjust style or elevate style, you know, have a style evolution in order to be perceived the way that you want. I think in terms of dressing for your body, how you look, your coloring, everything is great. You look really, really attractive. But for whatever reason, there seems to be some sort of disconnect, and maybe even a desire to adjust your style a little bit to have a different perception or a different reality. And that's totally possible. There's a lot of ways to do that. So you can definitely leave comments as well too. Because I know for me personally, you know, I've had plenty of style evolutions, and the way that I'm treated, the way that I'm perceived is totally altered by the way that I dress. But I think that you have a great eye, you have great taste. And once again, there's something here about you really kind of reaching the pinnacle in terms of being able to dress yourself really well and looking really, really good. Like, this is my hot pile 3. You look great. All right, but that's what I have for you, pile 3. So I do hope that resonated. I hope that was helpful. I'm seeing a little bit more of like a dynamic desire to maybe shift some things in style, but that's totally possible. And I'd love to have conversations in the comments if you would ever like any advice on that. But that's what I have for you, pile 3. So I do hope this resonated. I hope this was helpful for you. You can feel free to check out one of the other piles if you're curious. You can watch one of my other videos. You can check out my Patreon for exclusive videos and conversations. And of course, you can always book a personal reading with me if you'd like me to read the energy in your situation. But thank you so much, pile 3. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you.